Get your hands off Medho's words, sharp as a slap. Just split the air right down the middle of the Ridgewood College rugby field. And for a second, time hung there, trembling. I swear, you could feel every eye, every phone camera, every whisper, all aimed at this one spot where the real show was about to begin, a place nobody in the crowd, and I mean nobody, would soon forget. There was Kira Johnson, the only black cheerleader on the squad, uniform blazing red against the muddy grass, back pressed up against 3 rugby players twice her size. Tyler, the team captain, built like a truck and mean as one too, reached for her throat with a grin that said he'd done this 100 times before. But the way his hand hovered, you could tell he hadn't expected an audience, especially not the one he was about to get. Now, here's the twist, the part that changes everything and most folks didn't see coming. See, Kira had been dealing with these guys for weeks. The jokes that weren't jokes, the accidental bumps in the hallway, the way they'd call her out of formation at practice like she didn't matter. She kept her chin up, told herself she could handle it, maybe even believed it tried up until today, when Tyler decided to make a public example out of her. And if you think the crowd stepped in, think again. Most people just watched, some with their phones out, others with their hands jammed in their pockets, silent and complicit. That's how it goes, right? Until someone decides it doesn't. Out of nowhere, a shadow cut through the mess. This wasn't a teacher, wasn't campus security, this was someone who moved like he owned the very air he breathed. Tall, thick-necked, eyes like steel. Kira's dad, Marcus Johnson, and if the rugby boys had any sense at all, they'd have started running. But they didn't, because they didn't know who he was. Senior Chief Marcus Johnson, United States Navy SEAL. You know what I mean? The type of man who's trained to end trouble before it even knows it's in trouble. Tyler's hand froze midair as Marcus stepped onto the field. "You touch my daughter again," he said, voice so calm was terrifying, "and I'll show you what real pain feels like." I'm telling you, a hush fell so thick you could hear the wind. Tyler laughed, trying to play it cool, and threw out, "Who the hell are you?" Like he actually wanted to know. Marcus didn't even blink. "The man who's about to teach you some respect." The rest of the rugby team tried to back their captain, shifting on their feet, flexing for the crowd, acting like the numbers were on their side. It was almost funny because then it happened. Marcus moved, and in the space of a heartbeat, Tyler was face down on the grass, arm twisted behind his back, yelping like a kid. The next 2 players lunged, bad decision. One got swept off his feet, the other found himself gasping for air as Marcus pressed a knuckle just so into a nerve. All of it was so fast, so precise, you'd think he was teaching a seminar instead of making a point. You could feel the mood shift. The crowd that had been laughing, they were silent now, and I mean dead silent. Even the coach came charging in, face blazing. "What the hell's going on here?" he barked. Marcus let Tyler go. The boy scuttled backward, eyes wide, tough guy act gone. "Your boys have been bullying my daughter," Marcus said, voice cold as a January morning. "That ends today." For a split second, it looked like Tyler might try to lie his way out. "She's making it up, coach. We were just messing around." The crowd mumbled some, still unsure who to believe. But Marcus wasn't done. He took out his phone, cool as you please. "Interesting, because I've got security footage of you shoving her into a locker yesterday." He held up the phone for all to see. Now, if you've ever seen a room turn, you know what happened next. Tyler's face went white, the coaches went red, and the crowd erupted not in laughter, but in a new kind of murmur, the kind that says everything's about to change. "Tyler, my office." Now the coach snapped. The rest of the team scattered, no longer so tough. Marcus turned to Kira, his arm wrapping around her shoulder, and for a second, the world felt safe again. But that's not even the real ending, you know? Because news like that moves faster than the boys thought possible. Tyler got suspended. The rugby team learned real quick that there were eyes everywhere now. And as for Kira, she walked the halls with her head higher, smile wider, and the kind of confidence that only comes when, deep down, you're not alone. Let me back up a sec and say, this sometimes you think you're fighting a battle all by yourself, and then out of nowhere the world shifts. Someone stands up, and suddenly, everyone else is forced to pick a side. And as for Marcus, he didn't stick around for applause. He just looked at his daughter, proud as anything, and said, "You're stronger than you think, kid." She believed him. Now, here's the kicker, a twist nobody saw coming. A week later, one of the rugby players, not Tyler but his buddy Kevin, came up to Kira in the cafeteria. Didn't ask for forgiveness, didn't pretend to be her friend. He just said, "I saw what they did. I am sorry. I should have stopped it." And in that moment, Kira realized the real win wasn't just about taking down a bully. It was about shifting the whole damn culture, one person, one small action at a time. So yeah, the next game, she walked out onto the field, crowd cheering not because she was different, but because she'd proven she belonged. And as her dad watched from the stands, eyes bright, arms crossed, you could see it plain as day she wasn't just the new cheerleader. She was unbreakable. That's what justice looks like, messy, loud, sometimes slow, but always, always worth fighting for. Now let me ask you this, if you were standing in that crowd, would you have stepped in or just watched it happen? Drop your thoughts below. Was Marcus right? Or did he go too far? Where's the line between justice and revenge in a world that too often stays silent? I'm dying to hear your take. Hit that like button if you felt even a flicker of pride, and don't forget to share your story in the comments. Maybe, just maybe, your words will be the reason someone stands up next time.